A tenant whose apartment is covered in dog feces and owes the landlord $25,000 rent can't be evicted. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. Alright, so I have another article for you today about a hoarder. I know you love hearing all my hoarder stories, horror stories for landlords, okay? But, you know, I keep coming across them, and the whole eviction moratorium has only made things worse when it comes to hoarders. But before I get into that article, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of my videos, okay? So I'll keep working to bring you more articles about the eviction moratorium and other news that's of interest to landlords. Anyway, this article comes from mynorthwest.com, and it says, "No way to evict a hoarder that owes over $25,000, landlord laments." What can you do if you're a landlord and you have a hoarder who owes over a year's worth of rent? Nothing, says Carl Haglund. Haglund took video of one of the units at Admiral Apartments, which he says he works hard to maintain for working families. He said his carpenter, who was replacing doors at the 23-unit building in the Rainier Valley, called him and told him he better come have a look. Let me see if I can find this video, and if I can, I'll put it right up here and show you exactly what this place looks like, okay? "He's a hoarder," Haglund said to the tenant. He said there was dog feces everywhere and dozens of boxes of tennis shoes. He owes over $25,000 in rent, Haglund estimated, adding that even before the eviction moratorium in Seattle prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic, the renter was behind. Yeah, I don't know why they hadn't already filed for eviction on this guy, considering he already was behind. His place was already a mess, but by not jumping on it before the pandemic began, they only made things worse when the pandemic actually started and the eviction moratoriums began. So yeah, I mean, you got a tenant like this in your place, you just need to just jump on it immediately. Don't think that it's going to improve, okay? He said they had filed an eviction. Okay, so they had actually filed an eviction, so that's good. He said they filed an eviction, but they worked out a repayment plan. Once the pandemic hit, Haglund said the man just stopped rent payments altogether. "He's not paying rent, he's still going to work," Haglund said, "and we can't evict him." Additionally, Haglund pointed out that hoarders are a protected class. I don't know why a hoarder would be a protected class. I mean, that sounds a little bit crazy. If nothing else, this is an apartment building, so you would think that the feces and everything that, would cause bugs and issues for the other tenants, and that would be a safety issue. So I'm not exactly sure why he would be a protected class. Maybe it says here in the article. Hoarding is considered a disorder, and renters with the disability are a protected class under the Fair Housing and Americans with Disabilities Act, according to the Journal of American Academy of Psychiatry and Law. Now, that's something I didn't know. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that kind of changes things, but at the same time, there has to be some sort of recourse in order to get the tenant out of that property. Okay, I don't know how many housing courts are going to use that as an excuse to why you are 100% unable to evict the tenant, especially if you're a safety issue for the other tenants. Carl Haglund is no stranger to controversy. In June 2016, the Seattle City Council passed the Carl Haglund Law, which protects tenants' rights. The law was spearheaded by Councilmember Kshama Sawant in an effort to stop slumlords from raising the rents of residents. Okay, well, article is taking a little turn there. It doesn't really matter what the background of this landlord is in this issue in particular, because we're talking about a hoarder whose place is covered in dog feces and hasn't paid rent and owes $25,000. So, I mean, that nothing about what the landlord, happened in 2016 or whatever this article is saying has anything to do with that, other than trying to, I don't know, garner sympathy for this tenant. But, craziness all in all. Let's see what else it says here. No, it doesn't really have any more information about the story, but hopefully he's able to get this guy out. I know this was kind of a short one, but eviction moratorium, landlords unable to evict bad tenants. I mean, this stuff never stops for us. So yeah, keep on hanging in there, and hopefully July 31st, the national one is gone. I know the state of Washington, it's going to be a little bit longer than that, so hang in there.